Hi, Magdalena. Hi, Maggie. Thank you so much for joining me today for the interview. And I know you are an activist for the environment and for oceans and also against plastic. So, yeah, everyone who doesn't know you, please introduce yourself and tell us more about what you do.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you so much for welcoming me. I'm really happy to be here. Yeah, I'm an environmental activist since about 7 years. I'm from South Tyrol. This is the northern part in Italy, where we normally speak German. So it's the German-speaking part of Italy. And I am a diver as well. Since about 10 years, I'm diving. And 7 years ago, I had a really, really interesting meeting underwater with a fish. So when I tell people a fish changed my life to be an activist, then people start first of all a bit of laughing. They think, well, a fish changed your life. Yes, it really was like that. So I met a fish which was, yeah, he was caught by a fishing net. It was like a ghost net, called ghost net because there are nets in the water which fishermen are losing when they are going to fish. Sometimes they are breaking, sometimes they are just not working very good, so they leave them behind or they just lose them. And there are thousands of these fishing nets in the water. And that was the first time that I saw one of these nets. And this fish was caught by this net. And I was kind of crying because I saw the first time in my life that even I was eating fish at that time, even that I ate fish was made it possible for the fish to be stuck in this net. So I did not look behind what happens when I eat fish. I didn't know these things. So I really felt a bit like it was as well my fault. I felt responsible. And then I decided to free this fish from the net, what I did as well. He was free. And then afterwards, we took out the net from the water. We wanted to take it out of the water. So we grabbed it and put it under our arms and we were swimming on. And the fish came back some minutes later and he swam with us. And he looked directly into my eyes and at the same time into my heart. And this moment changed my life forever because I saw the first time in my life that these animals have feelings like we do. I was always loving animals all my life, but I think 7 years ago, I really started to understand what that means to love animals. I stopped eating animals. And nowadays I think, okay, if you really love animals, eating them at the same time is a bit weird for me now, but then it was normal. And now I changed everything. So I became vegetarian. I became an activist. I was working with many ocean conservation organizations together, like Sea Shepherd, Ocean Quest. I'm a coral propagation trainer. And I started to collect a lot of plastics on the beaches and underwater, started to work on the ghost nets, taking them out of the water. I did many campaigns for saving especially ocean creatures because I really fell in love with them. And I became this activist which was traveling around the world to try to help the planet to heal, to try to save animals, to show people and to talk with people about the issues we are creating in this in our system. And I think it's really nice if we start to wake up from this system, to start to wake up from this matrix and to think ourselves what we are doing with our consumption. And there's a lot what we can do. So there are many things where we can really, every single one of us can change in this world. And this is very motivating for me to see how much one person can make of a difference. And this is what I want to give on and to pass on to other people so they feel as well the possibility to change this world to a better place. Because right now we are doing, well, right now it starts to be a bit different. We will see what's coming next after this crisis right now. But the most of the people are not so much connected anymore to nature, I have the feeling, and they don't see that what I did not see neither. So not just they, right? It's me too. There are still many things what I don't see now, but I try to really focus on seeing the big impact of us humans and how we live of our lifestyle in nature. And this is what I try to really focus on, to talk about it. I give many speeches about these things. I talk about ocean conservation, environmental issues, about plastic issues, about veganism. Yeah, I wrote a cookbook. I'm writing my second book right now. I'm working on a documentary about hope because I really think there's so many things on this planet which are really beautiful, so many organizations and people who work for a better world, who want to create something good in this planet. And I want to show that there is hope everywhere. We can open our eyes, see this, and try to connect to this positive vibes and become part of this and not be part of this negative impact on the planet. So that's really what I focus on, to change what's happening on this planet and to change our perspective on how we can live on the planet and how we can yeah, act in a better way to create something more beautiful for everyone. Exactly.
Yeah, it's amazing what you do, and where we had an interview already before, and I mentioned that I'm a diver as well, and I think like especially the divers, they have an even closer look to what's really happening, at least in the oceans. And well, this podcast is especially for female entrepreneurs. So, could you tell us more about how did you actually manage to become an activist while being an entrepreneur yourself? So, how does it actually work? Because I think, like most of, yeah, like many people think, yeah, okay, you're an activist, but how do you actually make money? How do you live as an activist? Do you want to tell us more about this?
Yes, definitely. For me, this was not the easiest thing to do, I have to say, because I was working a lot in the gastronomy. So I was working in bars and restaurants. I did sell meat, for example. I really did sell alcohol. I'm completely against alcohol nowadays. But I was selling these things to make money. So this was my job. I liked the job. It was fun. But then I started to change myself and I saw there is no point of doing this for me anymore. And I saved a lot of money before, a lot. I saved some money before, so I was able to do my campaigns for some years. And every time when I came home from the campaigns after 7 or 8 months, I was working a little bit in the gastronomy still to make this money for 2 3 months to go on to the next campaign. So during the campaigns, for example, during a campaign on Sea Shepherd, I did not get paid. So this was all volunteering work. So for many years, I started to really change my lifestyle completely. So I did not buy things anymore what I don't need. I changed everything. I mean, I did not buy clothes anymore. I did not go out like before. You don't have to change everything, right? But this helped me to save the money, and it was not important for me anymore. So I changed really my whole way of living, and this helped me to be able to do what I wanted to do. And then I started to really work as well as a video producer during the campaigns. So I was like the media officer and made all the videos about what was happening during the campaigns. And this helped me then to really understand that I want to do more in video filmmaking. And now I'm self-employed, means I really work as a video maker and as a speaker. So I started soon after my first campaign, I started to give speeches and presentations about all these topics about ocean conservation, why it is so important for us. First, I did it as well for free a lot because the people in my area were not ready yet to listen to these topics. So they were definitely not ready to pay for it. And nowadays it's really nice. Um, I get invited every single day to give speeches about these topics. So this is kind of my how I can live on this as well, to give the speeches about these topics, to talk about what we can change. Then I started as well to talk and to work with the companies together to help them to change something in their company. So to change something for a more sustainable lifestyle, for more sustainable products, what they create. And like this, I can combine my version of being an activist with making money without thinking, oh, I make money with something, but I'm not standing behind it. So this is where I really stand 100% behind it. And companies are happy to finance someone or to pay someone who helps them to change these perspectives or to change their products or their way of thinking to make something a bit better, because this is exactly what the world needs today. So I think this is one of the main topics what we will face in the next years as well. Environmental issues, they are really so present that if you use it right and if you do it right, you can definitely combine it with your job and make money with it too, in a good way. So you don't have to be either or an activist and don't get any money at all and live on nearly nothing and just a bit of bread, or you are a businesswoman. You can combine it, and that's very, very interesting if you combine it right. And that's what I try to do right now. So I really want to give these speeches and this information what I have and the things what I saw in my life and what I felt and what I had to go through. I want to pass this on to other people so they can change something in their life too. So now I try to as well do it in different ways. I work with companies together. I work as an entrepreneur in schools. I give many speeches about these topics to kids. So the schools are paying me for this. Then I make these things with my writing books and the movie what I make. And at the same time, I try as well now to start to make a combination of environmental changes connected to personality growing, because I can see how much it changed my life and how much it changed my personality by doing something good for others, for the planet, for the animals, for people, for nature, and how much it gives back to me. So this is a win-win for everyone. And I can say how much I can, or how good these two things fit together. And like this, it's even another step what I can do and create to make a bit of money with that, to help other people to see the same. So that's the way how I started my business in this in this territory. I think that for everyone it might be a bit different, but I think you definitely can combine these two things, and you don't have to be just activist and live on no money. So you really can find your way to create maybe even a nice product which is helping the planet to heal. Like I am working with a company together on a really beautiful project about a bottle, a glass bottle, which is getting sold all over the world. And for every bottle, we get a bit of money into a pool, which is helping other organizations to do something good for the planet. And like this company can make money with selling the bottle, but at the same time, they contribute something for a better future for us all. And I think when you combine these things, it's amazing. There's so many products on this planet today, and so many people which have ideas to create some products which are environmental friendly and sustainable produced, that this makes a lot of sense. And if you go into this, you definitely get you have the right moment for exactly doing that. So that's really cool. So yeah, go for it. I would tell to everyone, please go for creating products what the world really needs today. And this has always to do with environmental friendly, sustainable living lifestyle. Exactly.
And like, I really like that you mentioned actually like that you, for becoming an entrepreneur and really doing what you love, you also at the beginning had to reduce some of the things you did in your life and really think about, okay, what will I do? And for example, maybe you stopped going out, or maybe some they will stop buying too much stuff because you need to save some money if you want to be self-employed. And you also mentioned that you wanted to have something, you wanted to work on something where you really stand behind and what you really love. And to those who are now in the time where they are like, I'm not really sure anymore if it's right what I'm doing, and how can I actually work more on something that I love? So what like personal advice or tips would you give to these people?
I think it is very important that first of all you find out, or you take yourself the time to find out, what do you really want to create in this world? How do you want to have the world? Which world do you want to have for your kids, for yourself, for other generations after, or for whoever you love? What is it you want to give the world? Because every one of us has a gift. Every one of us has something in us burning sometimes for years without us recognizing it, or without us following it because we are afraid of it. And many times I wanted to make, for example, my documentary about hope. I wanted to make a documentary since years, but I did not learn how to make a documentary. I did learn this by myself. So it was all a do-it-yourself thing. And then at some point I felt this burning so hard that I felt like, fuck, if I don't start to do this now, when does this happen? If I don't do it now, and if I don't give a little bit of a shit about how I can do this and how I make it perfect, then it will probably never happen. And then I thought, but I want this to happen. So I just started to do it, and I did not have any idea how. It was still, I have to say today, sometimes I was doing things which maybe after I would have done different. Or sometimes I was thinking, okay, I was working for 1 week on some topic what I cannot even use now because it's not really the thing I need for the movie. So I lost a week. Yeah, but I did not lose just a week. I did gain a lot of knowledge. I did gain the time. I did not gain the time. I did gain the knowledge about, okay, this is not what I want. And sometimes it's very much important as well to first know what you don't want. Then you can concentrate on the things you want. And so make first of all clear what you even want in your life. Because many people just go on with what they do. And it's easier. I know, I can understand that. It's very much easier to just go on with what you do because this is how you know it. This is how you don't have to learn new things, and you don't have time for all the time learning new things. But in 10 years, when you look at your life in 10 years, if it's exactly the same like today, ask yourself today, do you really want that? or do you want to change some things? And if you really want to change some things, then I think if you really want it, you feel it so much that it's becoming very easy to do. Even though some steps will not be easy, but the first step will become easier if you really, really feel this is where my heart belongs to. And I think when you start to follow yourself and to start to follow your heart, there will always be some stones in your way. There will always be people who tell you cannot do this, or you have no idea, or what do you want to do, you don't even know how this works. Yes, this will happen. I had that too many times. But if I would have listened to these people telling me all the time that I cannot change anything and I cannot do anything, then I would not have at all started to do any of these projects I have done today. And this have been 10 environmental protecting projects all over the world. Then it was a book what I wrote. I read my second book. I'm working on a documentary. I'm working on so many projects. I would never have been able to do any of this if I would have been listening to the people around me. Not around me, but directly, but some people which told me, no, this doesn't work, you're crazy. Yeah, sometimes the time needs us to be a bit of crazy because I think especially now we need to be a little bit of crazy, and we need to just follow our hearts, and then we can reach so much. And that's I think the most important message I can give you. Just listen to your heart and take yourself first the time to find out what your heart wants.
Yeah, it's really important. I really love that you say it's so important to follow our heart, because it's so funny, because that also is in my own motto, this this sentence. And I think it's really important. And those of you who already listened to my intro of the podcast, you will also know that I also changed my careers, and I even like quit my own business, like one of my own businesses, because it didn't really fit in my lifestyle, and I was craving for something more deeper and not just something like on the surface. And I think that's really important, that we just sit down ourselves and reflect a bit what we really want in our life, and not to be afraid of just doing it, and really just take the action and then just kind of follow along with it. And like of course we need goals, but I think first of all, it's important to just start. And also, like that you said, that you don't really lose time if you like look deeper in something and learn more about something. And then on the other hand, find the right time and moment on doing stuff actually, and not just waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's some really, really cool advice. And would you like to go more deeper, like in your work actually? So now those who are listening, they already know what you are doing. But would you like to tell us a bit more about why you are like doing it, and why do you like to educate people more about it? So what's the real like issue if we don't kind of wake up and do more for the environment?
Yeah, there are many issues from different sides, but in the end they're all interconnected. For example, the plastic issue. There's so much plastic on this planet, and I know the plastic is surrounding us everywhere. Everything is made out of plastic nowadays, but there are alternatives. So we have the chance to use other products instead of plastic for everything. For nearly everything. But the thing is that many people don't realize how much plastic can destruct or can destroy the planet. Because I can see it especially with diving. Yeah, the ghost nets are mostly made out of plastic, but the ghost nets alone are not the only problem. There's so much plastic, like for example, in toothpastes, in shampoos, in every kind of creams. There's plastic inside, or the plastic packaging, and a lot of this, even in our clothes, and a lot of this plastic goes like microplastic in the water system, and this goes all in the end into the ocean. And when it's in the ocean, the animals start to eat it. Even they don't know what it is. They think it's plankton, or they eat other fishes which have been eating plankton before, which was not plankton but microplastic. So the fishes are really getting crazy and sick from this, so they're dying from it. And when we eat these fishes, even if they're not dead yet, when we eat them, then we eat this plastic as well. It can make us very, very sick too. So the plastic issue is a really big one. And so many animals in the ocean, for example, they have already so many problems without the plastic. So like for example, all the algae which are coming now on the surface of the ocean, because we are putting so much stuff in the ocean which is destroying it. So there is a lot of algae which takes all the oxygen out of the water, so animals cannot survive there anymore. Or when we take out oil from under the ground, under the sea, this is so loud and makes everything so dirty. And then there's so much ships on the oceans, on the surface. It's also loud, and many animals are dying just because of that, because they don't find their way anymore where they should go. So they beach themselves, like many dolphins or whales start to beach themselves. But the ocean is so important for us. So there are many things destructing the ocean, even the temperature rise, climate change. This is a really big thing. And if the animals in the ocean die, then it's a really big problem as well for us, not just for the animals themselves, but the ocean is producing 50 up to 70% of our oxygen. It doesn't matter where we live on this planet. And if we don't care about this, if we don't see this connection and start to work on it and act on it, then this could be sooner or later be a very, very big problem for us. It's already now a problem, because about 93% of all the ocean creatures, which we normally use commercially, are overfished or fished until their maximum volume. So they're like completely, the oceans will be empty if we go on like this. If the ocean is empty, we have a problem. Huh? Same with the deforestation. It's the same problem, the same issue. We cut all trees down to produce soy and corn to feed the animals what we eat in the end. So this is again connected to our lifestyle, how we eat, our nutrition, if we eat vegan or not, or if we eat a little bit more plant-based sometimes. Or if we want to have our daily steak. So this is a really, really big question, how we want to go on in the future. Because if we go on with deforestation like this fast, same problem like with the ocean. The forest produces the rest of our oxygen. So the forest and the ocean are kind of our lungs. And if we don't care for our lungs, you can just imagine what happens. It doesn't work. Same with the plastic, it's destroying so much. Same with everything in our food choice. How do we produce the food? Not just meat, but as well fruits and vegetables. How do we produce them? Do we spray around pesticides all over so that all the insects are dying? And us in the end too, like it's making us sick. So I think there's so many topics, but I can put them all together because it's connected. They're all connected. And if we start to make our first step, you don't have to start to be vegan today and to be plastic free today and to be completely organic and everything needs to be sustainable in your house. You can start with one thing and then try to go deeper into it and then take the next thing. Like get used to one thing and then take the next thing in your lifestyle. Try to bring it in. Make it step by step. Otherwise, it's anyway not really possible. You cannot be from today to tomorrow 100% sustainable living lifestyle, whatever. It's really hard. So make it step by step and everybody can do that. Then it's not hurting you. And then you can even change your way of living in an easy way, because if you change everything from today to tomorrow, this will be hard, and then the most of the people will not do it. That's how I felt it. No, I was not able to do it neither, and I was really into it already since 7 years, but I am still learning so much today, and I'm happy to learn from other people too. So try to connect yourself with other people which are in the same thinking, in the same kind of way they think. Try to connect, try to inform each other, give each other tips, and try to support each other. That's so important. Support each other by taking better choices and by helping others to take better choices, but not by pointing fingers. Like just by pointing out possibilities of a better change. And I think that itself can change so much. So yeah, I think that's the most important thing, to know that everything is connected, and it starts always with us, because we are producing what's happening right now out there on the planet. We are doing so much. So many animals are dying every single day. It's like an extinction every day from so many animals. We did not even know that they exist. They're extinct today. I think that's quite sad. And if we start to see how beautiful this nature and this planet is, and how beautiful it can be if we let it be, and if we support it in it, then I think everyone starts to understand, okay, we can step back a little bit and we can save so much on this planet and support the nature to grow back. So all these things are connected. Yeah, your food choice, your clothes, what you buy, the products we buy for the bathroom, whatever it is, shampoos and stuff, everything is connected to the world, how it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for the insights. And I mean, I already know more about this topic because I also really look into it myself. But those, I think those who are not as familiar with it, I mean, for example, you said something like that the plastic goes into the ocean.
Mhm.
And for example, I mean, of course, if people throw it in the ocean or it lands in there, it's in there. But would you
Mhm.
like to go a bit more and explain it in some words? How does actually the plastic that we have and use in our daily life end up in the ocean? Because I think so many, they think, yeah, I just like flush it down the toilet and then it's going to be, the water is going to be recycled. So no way it ends up in the ocean. So would you like to tell us a bit more about this?
Yeah, there are many ways how plastic can end up in the ocean. So one way is, like you said, people throw it away, right? When you stay on the beach and you lose something or you forget something, then it might be ending up in the ocean. That's normal. Everybody knows that the wind comes, the rain comes, and or the how's it called, the tides, and they take the water comes and takes all what is laying on the beach with them out in the ocean. But there's other ways too. For example, the ships which are on the traveling, all the travel ships or the fishing ships, they lose a lot of plastic waste on their way. Sometimes the ghost nets from fishermen, for example, or a lot of other fishing gear, or sometimes it's as well illegal dumping from other ships, which is nowadays completely forbidden, but still it happens. So this is about 20% which is ending up in the ocean, the plastic trash and all this trash which is coming from ships. But 80% from all the plastic waste which is ending up in the ocean comes from us, from land. And this comes from different ways. For example, when I think everybody of you know how people throw away cigarette butts or other trash, no? So it might end up in the forest or in the mountains somewhere. But then there's the same issue. The rain comes, the wind comes, it takes it with him, and everything ends up in the small river next to it, and the river takes it to the next river, to the bigger river, and then in the end it ends up in the ocean. Then there's another way, for example, with the toothpastes, like many toothpastes, shampoos, and creams and all that stuff. A lot of these things are packed in plastic, but not only packed, but there's as well microplastic put inside. So we are brushing our teeth with plastic toothpaste. So there's plastic pieces inside, microplastic. Um, this is put inside to sell a little bit more of stuff. There are different reasons why they put it inside, but it makes a bit of a volume as well from a toothpaste. So they can not just sell 1 kilo, they can sell 1.5 kilo if there is a bit of plastic inside. There are many reasons, right?
Mhm. And then
But
the
this is one of them.
exfoliation part.
Exactly. And then in the end, when we when we clean our teeth, we are sometimes swallowing in a bit of this. So this goes into our body, which makes us sick. But the rest we split out and it goes into the sink. But the sink cannot, so there is somewhere, I don't know how it's called in English, something like which is trying to keep all the bigger particles back, like a filter. But these filters are not good enough for these small plastic, microplastic particles. So all these particles can go into the big river as well, and in the end up in the ocean. Same with when we clean our clothes, when we wash them, and they are made out of plastic, which is many times the case. Then during the washing process, these things, these small pieces can go away. They go as well, again, into this water system, and the filters cannot stop it because it's too small. It goes into the river, into the ocean. These are different ways how this plastic can end up in the ocean. Then in the land, it can land as well when we go to the recycling place. And I, for example, I'm a responsible recycler. I take this plastic stuff, what I have, put it in the plastic bin of the recycling place. And I think then my job is done, right? Many people think this is now okay. But first of all, there's so much more behind. When we produce the plastic already, there's a big issues, environmental issues as well. But when we throw it away, it's not gone. So many times, this is different plastics. It's not even able to recycle. It's really hard because there are so many different plastic forms together, or different other stuff which are softeners and all these kind of things which are put in this plastic that it is exactly how it is. And to recycle this all is very, very hard. So many things are not even recyclable. The things which are recyclable are not always recycled because they are hard to recycle. So it's not always easy. Imagine, for example, as well, a plastic bottle. Okay, if you buy a plastic bottle, there's the bottle, then there's outside this etiquette, then there's the top, the lid. These are all different plastics. They all have to be changed. So they all have to be separated to be recycled. And then the question is, do they always get separated to be able to recycle? So that's the question. If they get separated, they can be recycled, but not always the case. So sometimes it's easier to just put it in an oven and to burn it. When we burn it, there are as well filters, and the filters should stop the microplastic, which starts to be after burning plastic. There's as well microplastic which goes in the, and other toxins which are going in the air. They try to stop them, but the filters are not always that good. And I know places where I was doing personally beach cleanups, where we put all the plastic together. We wanted to bring it to the community, and we asked them to please put it somewhere in a recycling place, because we did not find the recycling place. But it's not always a recycling place there. Not in every place in the world it does exist. So they just put it on one place on the beach, and they made a big fire. So this goes all directly into the air, and it's not really making it better. So we are breathing in plastics nowadays. Or we put this plastic, what we don't know how to recycle, on big landfills. We put it all in one place, and then we put some earth on it. We plant some trees. It looks nice when it's growing back, but there's all plastic underneath the ground. And then afterwards, people start to produce there some vegetables and some fruits and whatever should grow there exactly where all this plastic is underneath. But the fruits and vegetables take out this microplastic as well. So they are growing on microplastics. And this is really unhealthy for us, unhealthy for nature. And like this, a lot of plastic goes in the end in landfilling, or in the ocean. And that's a big problem. And I think that many people really don't see these steps which are behind after recycling. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for the deeper insights. And I mean, I'm already familiar with the topic, as you know, and maybe some who are listening as well. But I think there might be still some people who are like, yeah, you know, it's nice if I just reduce plastic, but maybe some still don't really get the real benefits. So would you like us more about the actual personal benefits if you start living healthier?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I can say I personally feel not just the plastic issue, but as well my food change did make my whole body a lot more healthy. So I can feel it, and I really I can just say this from my own perspective, because I was going through some years ago, about 7 or 8 years ago, when I was not even vegetarian. I made a blood test, and my blood was not so good looking. It was not really that great. So a lot of I don't know in English, but a lot of sourness things. And you saw they were like sticky, all the blood cells, and was not so good. But I did not do anything special then, no therapy and nothing. And then I changed my diet because of this meeting I had with this grouper, with this fish on the water when I saved him. So I changed my diet to be vegetarian, and nowadays I'm vegan. And I felt already it's really, really good for my body. I feel so much healthier, so much happier, even mentally happier. It makes me happy that I don't eat animals, and that I don't eat my friends, and that I don't eat things which are cruel to other living beings. And it makes me definitely happy. And 2 years ago, I was doing another blood test because I was in India filming for my movie Hope. And something happened that I was feeling very sick. So for 1 month, I was really bad, maybe in the water, maybe an insect, but I don't really know. But I was really not good, feeling not good for a whole month. I was not able to eat, and really bad. So when I came back home, I felt still there's something not right, and I have to check that. I made another blood test, and there came out, I did not specifically made it for this. I just made it for seeing what is still not healthy. And so the homeopathic woman which made this test, she said, okay, if you look at both blood tests 7 years ago and now, this is incredible. You must be vegan today, right? And I said, yes, I'm vegan. And she showed me these 2 pictures, and it was like all the blood cells were free, moving, no problem. I had something which probably gave me an insect or something in the water. So I was infected by some bacteria, I don't know. So it's gone now, but the food changed so much, everything in my body, like the blood cells, without me even trying to specifically eat just healthy things. I was even eating sometimes sugar stuff. So sugar is vegan too. Just because you eat vegan doesn't mean you always eat perfectly healthy, right? So I really saw that just changing to a vegan diet changed so much. And now I eat as well very much healthier vegan. So I eat more sprouts, I eat more living things, like really sprouting all kind of beans and lentils and stuff, more raw food, more vegetables and more fruits. And I really look for that. But the plastic issue, for example, this can change so much as well, because I know there are many experts, and there are some documents as well, scientific documents, where they make tests on people which are living a normal life. They're eating, they don't see sometimes that they are eating so much plastic. We all seems like eat every single week a whole, you know, these bank cards, credit cards, the size of a credit card. Every week we eat a size of a credit card on plastic without knowing it. There's a lot of plastic, and plastic can make us very sick. So we can have so many negative health issues from eating plastic. And they made tests on people which they changed to eat really things where they are sure that they are not contaminated by plastic. And within a short time, I was fascinated how fast the body can get rid of this if you give it the time. Within, I think, about 2 or 3 weeks, their whole body was really kind of clean from this plastic. And I was really, wow, I was surprised. I'm not eating everything completely unpacked. So I still have sometimes the issues that I sometimes buy things which are packed, but it's getting less and less and less every single day. And I try to really make as much as I can food on my own. Like I produce a lot of things myself and eat completely less plastic than I ate before, for sure, because I don't have plastic things wrapping my food all the time. I had that before too when I did not know about these issues. Or I had toothbrushes or toothpastes which are really bad, and now I don't. So all this stuff is changing everything in my body, and I can really feel that there's a very, very big benefit. So I think it's not just good for the environment, it's good for every person themselves, for the whole body, that you can heal yourself when you do it. You live on a really more conscious lifestyle. You change your diet, you change your way of buying things, your consumption, your plastic issues. I think it's giving you so much back. And even when you see how much good it is giving to others or to yourself, you're getting mentally a lot more stronger and healthier because you see the benefits, you feel them, and it makes you happy. I can guarantee that it makes you happy. I felt it every single day. When I can do something for the environment, when I can do something for animals and for my friends and for my own health, for my family, I'm mentally a lot stronger. And I think that has a lot to do with depressions on this world, that many people just don't see the connection between all these issues. And when they start to see these connections, then they can change something. That's the moment when they start to change something, so that it's very important. And that helps as well in the end, finally, to really change and minimize depressions. Because I see many people writing me every single day. I get messages from people. They are so down because they want to do something, but they don't know how, and they care so much for animals, and they don't understand how people can do this to animals or how people can destroy the planet. And I try to help with how I can help with my ideas. But in the end, the step they need to make themselves. But as soon as I see the people making the step, they are definitely more happy. They write me as well letters sometimes afterwards that they are so happy about just changing things in their life, which make them more happy. And this is, I can see it, I can feel it. It's changing this way of being depressed by a system that's trying to keep us small and to not think for ourselves, just to sell us things we don't need for money we don't have. It's like when we start to wake up and to really change this, we can get healthier in every level. Yeah, I'm very convinced on this.
So if you would sum it up together, would you say it also has to do a lot with taking care of yourself and really be more mindful during the day?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's very, very important to take care of yourself. Even sometimes some people might think it's selfish, but I think it's a very, very important way of being a little bit of selfish, because you cannot help anybody else if you're not happy yourself. You cannot make other people happy if you are not happy. You cannot give you cannot help the planet to heal if you are not healthy. We cannot be healthy in an environment we made sick. So we need to take care of ourselves to be able to help others too. I think that's very, very important. Otherwise, it's not really working. It needs to be all balanced. This is in life so much needed on this world. It needs to be balanced. And when we are, I think many times I heard that once. That was a really nice sentence. Your thoughts, then what you say and what you do needs to be balanced. If you say something but you don't think the same way like you say it, then something in your body is unbalanced. Mm-hmm. You might not know it or notice it the first moment, but it comes out unbalanced. Something will not work. And I think everybody who felt once in their life the law of attraction knows that this has something to do with it. If I say, hey, this is plastic, you should not buy plastic, plastic is not so good, and then I just buy things packed in plastic and I don't care at all, then it's not working out. And people start as well not even to notice what I say, because they don't believe me, because I don't send out the right vibes, because I don't do what I say. And I think that's so important, that we are trying to balance ourselves by what we do, by what we say, and by how we act on. That's really important. Yeah.
And I also think I mean, you said that thoughts and the real action, they are really like, yeah, they kind of are working together. And there's also this saying that actually you are not your thoughts. And I think what's really important to actually know is, and to really get ourselves familiar with, is what we are thinking, because whatever we are thinking, it will also show up at the end in our life. And even it can be that we are not happy at the moment, or we are not fulfilled, and it for sure will show up because we always think it. And at the end, what you think is also what you are and what you get. So it's also really important to really get clear about your thoughts and what you really want in life, I think. And yeah, so those who are like, wow, that's really cool, I want to do more for my health and for my environment, and do we have any tips for them, like actionable tips they can already implement today in their life?
Yeah, definitely. I think the first thing is to make clear, what do you really want? Because many people want to do so much at the same time. So from today to tomorrow, I want to do something for animals, for people, for environment. All together is too much, maybe. Start with something which is very, very important to you, which is very close to your heart. Find out what is the first step, the first thing you want to face, or the first thing you want to change in your life, and then start to do that. Start to work on one thing first, the one topic, and then other things can come at all. They come by themselves. But start with one thing. Don't focus on everything at the same time. That's many times way too much, and then nothing comes out. So I think it's very good to focus on one thing, go this way first, and then you can start to really take other things in your change as well, and make changes as many as you want. I think it's very important to find out if there are maybe people around you which are doing something already in the topic you want to change, because otherwise you might feel very much alone. And to feel alone is not something that we like. People don't like to be alone, I think. Yeah, I don't. And at the beginning, I felt sometimes a bit alone in my area. The people were not open for the topics. So I was, for example, going for ocean conservation, and I was working then together, volunteering for Sea Shepherd. And there I met so many people which are like-minded, which think the same way, which were vegan, which gave me the tips to be how to be vegan in a nice way. And there I got so much information, so many inputs, which helped me to change better and easier and faster. And I think that's very important. Surround yourself with people who are good for you and for what you want to do. And I know it's harsh, it doesn't sound easy, and it will not be easy, but people who are not on the same line, you don't have to kick them out from your life, but try to focus more on the people which are really on the same way, or have the same thoughts and share the same things with you, because these are the people which are supporting you, definitely. And others it might be possible that they are pulling you down, and you will not get farther. You will not be able to walk on. It can be really hard, because it can be as well your family. It can be your boyfriend or girlfriend. It can be your best friends, which are completely in another direction, walking in another direction because you change. But I think that's part of life as well. You don't have to separate from these people, but try to focus more on the things which are helping you, on the people which are helping you, and connect with them. Connect as much as you can. And then try as well, just ask for help. Just ask for the tips from the people around you. Hey, where can I find these products? How do you do that? How did you change? How can I get involved? And then maybe you find some organizations as well in your near or somewhere else where you want to help. Get involved and do something. And I think that's the first steps to do. And if you want to stop using plastics, if it's about the plastic issue, that's really easy. I mean, in many places on this world, you find nowadays plastic-free supermarkets. Try to find if there is some in your area, in your near, and just go there and try to find out what you can buy there. And then do that more often, to go to these places, support the people which are selling plastic-free products, support maybe the farmers in your area, if they are, especially if they are farming or if they are working organic permaculture. Try to do this kind of things and not buying things which are coming from the other side of the world and which are produced in a not really sustainable way. I think when we start to really think a little bit about the backgrounds, then this comes automatically, this knowledge. We just have to start to think. Many times we stop thinking because thinking is, we think all the day about our job, and then we have to care for the kids and for the school and for whatever else we have to do. And then we forget sometimes the most basic and the most essential questions to answer these questions. Yeah, I think take yourself the time. Take a bit of time right now. I think this is the perfect time for it. We have a bit more time if we want. We can take the time, we can use it exactly for this, to make clear what we want and which world we want to create. Because as well, what we do now, this will be what we send out. This will be exactly how people will remember us. And I want to be remembered as a person who tried to do something better. And I think that the most of the people on this planet want. So do it first for yourself to find out, and then connect with others. Yeah.
That's really, really cool what you said, and some great advice. And I think like everyone can take it for not only like living healthier and doing more for the planet, but also to really build a business, because all the tips you can also like use for actually building a business and growing your business. Sure. And yeah. Like when you mentioned that you were working with like organizations, for example, like Sea Shepherd, would you actually like to go a bit into this and like maybe tell us one of your most like deepful insights you had when you were working with an organization like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I started to work with Sea Shepherd because I was when I started to make my dive master, and when I had this meeting with the fish when I freed, I felt I want to do more for the ocean. So my heart was really burning for the ocean. Right now I live in South Tyrol. I really miss the ocean so much. I was not diving for 1 year, and it's really hard for me. So I was trying to find an organization which is doing something I really want to support. And there are thousands of organizations out there. But the question is, which organization is doing the things you want to support? Because there are so many organizations which get a lot of support, a lot of money, funds, and so on. And then finally, if you look at what they do with the funds, it's not always fitting maybe what you want. Because I found many where I said, no, okay, outside they look nice, but inside, no. I don't want to be part of this. And with Sea Shepherd, I really felt, okay, there's so much happening. They are really active. They're doing so many projects. I want to be part of this. That was my way, right? Everyone has to find out for themselves what they feel about an organization, but I had a really good feeling. So I was going to Sea Shepherd on a campaign in the Faroe Islands. That was my first campaign. And the Faroe Islands are part of Denmark. Denmark is a land in the European Union, belongs to European Union, but the Faroe Islands belong to Denmark, but not to the EU. That means the Faroe Islands can go on with catching whales, killing pilot whales. They always have done that, always. So they had to do that to survive. Many, many years long, they had to eat whales to be able to survive. The Faroe Islands are really far north. It's very cold there. I cannot, and I don't want to say that these people are bad people because they are killing whales. They have lived like this. They have survived like this. So I don't know how it is to live there for a whole year. I was there then for 3 months because I know that nowadays it's not needed anymore to kill whales up there. There's supermarkets more full than my place. There's more vegan options. 6 years ago I was there, more vegan options than in my area. So like if to a place like this so far away, vegan options come, means that there is a lot of food. It's not like there's nothing available. So they don't have to kill whales anymore, but they still go on with it because it's tradition. And I think to call something tradition does not make it right. I think there are so many traditions on this planet, what we really have to adapt and to change, because it's just not working anymore. Like I said before, the oceans, we need them. And whales specifically, like the sharks too. Whales, for example, it's really interesting. This sounds a bit crazy, but whale poo is one of the most important things in the ocean. Yeah, if whales poo, and they poo a lot of stuff, right? There are many organisms which feed on this. And if these organisms don't have this whale poo, they will not survive. They cannot produce our oxygen. This is, again, the same circle, right? So I was diving with whales and with sharks and with dolphins. So these animals are very close to me. And I tried to go to the Faroe Islands to talk to the people and to try to really convince them that it's not needed anymore. it's hard to change traditions. It's hard to change people's perspective on traditions. But I had really, really good talks with many people. One time it came, so we were there to help to save the whales by trying to scare the whales away from the islands, because there are many fishermen and many ships which are sailing from one island to the next every day. And as soon as people see whales, they hunt them. They hunt them to beach. If they need them or not, they hunt them. They kill them all, even babies or pregnant whales. It's like it's a massacre. It's really, really crazy. The people themselves are really nice people, and nothing against the people. This tradition is brutal in my eyes. So I was there, and one time it came to a slaughter. So the whales got killed. There were 33 pilot whales that day, and I was a team leader on this island where the whales got killed, and I was running into the water with some metal sticks to try to scare the whales away. So we made some sound in the water with these metal sticks, and to scare the whales away from the island so they don't beach themselves, because the ships tried to bring them into the beach or on the beach to beach themselves. So they scare them to the beach with sound as well. We tried to scare them away with sound. We did not manage to really save them in the end. We were just 6 people that day, and there were hundreds of Faroese people which tried to kill them. So finally, in the end, we got arrested. We got put in prison because it is legal to kill whales there. It is illegal to try to stop it. So it was kind of a hard moment, and it was really not easy and not fun. People pointed guns on us. It was a really crazy situation. I don't blame the people, definitely not. And I still try to think about maybe one day to go back and to start again to talk to the people. For now, I try to talk about the topic itself and to inform more people on the planet that traditions can be changed. It was tradition to kill women as like hexen, how do you call them?
Witches.
Yeah, that was tradition. There was so many slavery was a tradition. It happens still today. It's crazy, but it was tradition. And until someone stood up and said, these traditions are not right, it's not okay to do, then the things changed and history can change. And nowadays, this is one of the main topics we really face, that people in general, not the Faroese people, people in general on this whole planet don't see the connection of what we do when we go on with traditions that are not needed anymore, but destroying the planet. So yeah, I had many of these moments. I tried to save the sharks from shark finning in Central America, and I was as well in Taiji, where in Japan, where many dolphins are getting killed for there. It's called tradition, but it has more to do with them making a lot of money. So in the Faroes, for example, the meat from the dolphins is getting eaten, so they give it to all the families. A lot of meat will not be eaten because nowadays they know that these animals are full of toxins, like a lot of heavy metals, so it's not even healthy anymore to eat dolphins, so many people don't eat it anymore. They still kill them. They throw away a lot of the meat. That's sad. But I think this changed already. But in Japan, for example, the people, they still kill dolphins. They catch them the same way like on the Faroes. They catch them because they say they sell them, they train them first, and then they sell them to dolphinariums. And all those which are not beautiful enough, they kill them for the meat. But all the beautiful ones, they sell to dolphinariums. And that's a really crazy thing, because there is just about the money. They make a lot of money with one trained dolphin, up to $300,000, which is really a lot. And they catch about 1,500 dolphins a year. So you can imagine how much money this can be in the end. And there I was as well to try to talk to the people, but there it was more about showing the world what's happening there every single day when the dolphins are getting killed, and the ones they are getting caught, to train them and how they are getting trained, and then to sell them to dolphinariums. So I tried to make this from another way, that people see what happens behind the scenes in dolphinariums, so people don't go there anymore. Mm-hmm. Because I was, for example, I love these animals, and if I would not, when I was not diving, I did not have another possibility than to see these animals in a dolphinarium. I was never there before, never. But nowadays I understand that people want to see these animals, but I just want to say this is not the right way to do it. It's not the right way. These animals don't belong to dolphinariums. They don't belong in small tubs and live their life there. They are sick. They're getting sick there. It does not make sense. So I tried really to talk to people, to show them from another perspective that there's so much more behind. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing work that you do. And I also like that you mentioned, like, people sometimes think it's about tradition, and also the dolphinariums, because I think there's so much amazing stuff they could do instead. Like I know some aquariums actually, they only get the sick fish, so they nurture them and then they put them out in the ocean so they can get back healthy actually. Or like the same with the turtles, they actually get in the turtles that are caught in fishing nets, and then they nurture them so they can actually go back in nature. And I think that's amazing. So there's also this stuff happening, luckily. And like when we go to traditions, I mean, that's one point actually why we don't live in Malta anymore, because I just couldn't live there anymore, because it was like you were kind of really living a dangerous life there, kind of, if you didn't like people that hunt birds, because like even like birds, it's a big trophy in Malta, and you can get thousands of euros for a bird, especially if you shoot them illegally. And I mean, there were times when we just walked with our dog, and then I tried to actually stop the hunters from hunting because it was illegal. I mean, unfortunately, at some places it's even legal, but even like if it's unlegal, especially, I try to stop them. And then they just grab you here, or they chase you. And they chase you not only by running after you, but they really point the gun at you. And that's totally crazy. And at the end, since the islands are so small, you can't really be sure that you are like still living really kind of insecurity, because it's like it can get really dangerous if you start living there and try to at the same time stop those people from hunting. And that's super crazy. And I mean, this lobby is so big, and like even like people from the government are involved. And I'm happy to say this now in the podcast, because luckily we don't live there anymore, so actually they can't catch me if I don't go back there, at least. But it's crazy. And I think people really need to wake up and see all this, like the stuff that's happening with the whales and dolphins and the sharks, and also like the birds. It's crazy, and people don't really need it today to live and to survive. And I think that's really great work you do. And also like the documentary you are filming, I think that's amazing to really inspire people and give some hope. And to like sum it up, I would love to ask you like 3 questions at the end. I ask everyone. And like the first one is there a source, like one of your favorite sources to really go more deeper in any topics that you really like a podcast, or maybe there are also books you really like? And do you have any favorites?
I don't really have so many favorites, because I'm so open for many different things. So I'm trying to look into this, and then I look into this, and mostly I don't finish everything because it's too much. But they're really cool. For example, what I prefer is more to connect with the people than to read a whole book of someone. I rather write the person than myself, and try to connect with the organizations and with the people which are already volunteering and doing something. So that's more my sources, where I really see it from the first hand and really get it from the first hand. Books can really be amazing, but that's more my thing, where I really go into connecting with the people which are involved in this topic, and then I try to get the information from there, which many people are really on the first line and can tell me what is exactly now happening. Books sometimes are a bit older as well. It can have been changed already a lot. So this is more my source, where I really try to find out what's happening right now, right there. I connect with the people which are there. That's more my thing.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's great actually to not just sit there and read, but also really connect and really get involved. I think that's the best way you can learn. And is there like a motto or like a saying you live by?
My biggest saying is everyone can change the world. It's said very easy, but this is as well one of the topics, or the title of one of my big speeches I normally give, because I know that people are like, many people are always like, no, one person cannot do anything. And I believe this is bullshit. I really believe this is not true. Every single person can make such a big difference. You just have to believe in yourself, and you just have to really make the first step, and then you will see it yourself. And I believe very much in people. I believe in people, even though I saw so many cruel things what people are able to do, but I believe that people can change. So I believe always in the second chance of everyone. And I really think that every single person on this planet can make such a big impact and such a big difference. So yeah, I want to send this out. This is my main belief. And yeah, that's my biggest sentence I would like to share. Everyone can make a difference.
And if there would be something in the world you could give to people, like you had a magical wand, what would it be?
A magical wand with I can do what with that to send?
Like it's like in German it's like Zauberstab, so you can actually change something or give them something. What would it be?
I think what I was missing 7 years ago was this connection. This sounds like disconnection. No, this connection. The connection I want to give to people. I think I would love to people to connect with themselves so that they can connect better with others. And I think as soon as this connection is there, there's nothing else possible but environmental issues to be better by themselves, because there is no way that we can go on with to work with the planet like this, or to deal with animals like this, if we are connected to ourselves. And that's what I really wish, to the people to connect to themselves first, yeah, so they can connect better to others, because you can just pass on what you have yourself. You cannot give happiness if you're not happy, and you cannot not connect to someone else if you're not connected to yourself. So that's, I think, the biggest thing.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really great ending for the podcast. And if people would like to now know more about you, or maybe ask you some questions, where can they find you?
So they can always write me an email or a message on Facebook. It's my normal name, Facebook, Magdalena Gschnitzer, or on Instagram, no problem, same name. My email address is, or my webpage is Maggie minus this thing, how is it called? Minus? Yeah, Maggie-Gschnitzer.com. And you can always write me whenever you want. Whatever questions you have, please write me, and send me even your thoughts, or how you like this podcast, how you like my words, what I was sharing. Just send me something. I am always happy to get some nice feedback, or even some critic feedback as well, so I can learn as well. It's good that we rise together and give each other a true and honest feedback as well. It's really, really important. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for being on the show. And yeah, so if you want to know more about her, please make sure to check the show notes, or if you're watching on YouTube, just check the description, and then you will for sure find the website and also the social media channels. And if you are German, by the way, and you're listening, there's also a super cool online course you can do. And if you want to know more about this, you can also find it in the show notes. And yeah, so thank you very much for being here. And for everyone who liked the show, please really make sure that you share this interview. And I'm wishing you an amazing day or an amazing week. And thank you so much for being here, Magdalena.
Thank you for inviting me. It was really a pleasure. It was an honor. Thank you. All the best to you all.